If you are traveling in London, you will surely see London's iconic taxis driving around. Riding in one is a classic experience that is bound to be a fond memory of your trip. Cab drivers take an intensive course on London routes, sightseeing, and history that takes, on average, 3 years to complete. London's government-run transportation department licenses its cab brand to taxi companies throughout the city. In the past, all London taxis were black. So even though not all taxis are black now, they are often still referred to as black cabs. So, we are going to watch about the how to call a taxi in London.
Method 1. Hailing a taxi.
First is hail a taxi in crowded or touristy spots. There are over 20,000 licensed, black cabs, in London, so finding one shouldn't be too tricky. Tourist destinations and busy spots like Piccadilly Circus should be good places to look for a cab. There are also many taxi stands around the city, particularly near airports, train stations, and hotels. Step 2. Look for cabs with a light on top that says, taxi. A cab with a switched off light is not available. Step 3. Stick out your arm as the taxi drives by. Make sure you are standing in a visible place on the street, but not putting yourself in danger of getting hit by a car, or otherwise holding up traffic. Step 4. Give your driver an address or the name of the venue you're headed to. Either speak to the driver at their window before entering the cab, or as soon as you get in. While you can tell them a particular address, remember that London taxi drivers are very well versed in their city, and you can usually just tell them the name of the hotel, theatre, restaurant, or landmark you're headed to. Finally, pay according to the meter and don't worry too much about tip. Fares are determined by meters, beginning at £2.60 and hiking up by 20 pence every 124 meters. Prices rise in the evening and night. It is not custom to tip your taxi driver more than 10%. Most locals simply round the fare up to the nearest pound.
Method 2. Booking in advance. First is look online for taxi companies.
London's governmental transportation department keeps a list of taxi companies to whom they have licensed the black cab. The list includes telephone numbers, websites, and emails. Not all companies serve all areas of London, so choose according to your area. You can find it here, https://tfl.gov.uk/modes/taxis-and-minicabs/book-a-taxi. Step 2. Ask your driver if they can be rebooked if you hailed a taxi. If you are getting along with a driver of a cab you hailed, ask them if you can book their cab in advance for your next ride. Finally, accept an extra booking charge of up to £2. Keep in mind that, depending on the taxi company, there may be extra charges when booking over the phone or through a website.
Method 3. Taxi alternatives.
First is book a minicab online or on the phone. In London, minicabs are taxis that can only be booked online, by phone, or through ride apps like Uber. It is illegal to hail a minicab. Minicabs are much cheaper than black cabs, and many companies that offer black cab bookings will also offer minicabs. Minicab fares are not determined by meters, so make sure to ask what the fare is for your destination before booking a minicab. Like black cab drivers, minicab drivers do not expect large tips.
Step 2. Use an Oyster Card for public transportation.
Public transportation in London requires an Oyster Card, which lets you ride the underground train system, known as the Tube, and London's iconic red double-decker buses. Buying a visitor Oyster Card in advance of your travels, or once you get to London, can save you 50% on public transit. Finally, explore London by foot for a fully immersive experience. The cheapest way to get around London is by walking through it. And walking is a good way to fully explore a new city. There are over 1,700 signs around London just to help navigate pedestrians. You can pick up free pamphlets on walking tour suggestions at tourism centers, or find some online.
We hope it is useful to you. Please subscribe to our channel to upskill yourself.